Oh, my friends, we're here again. The other day was the last day at my job, so you know what's happening. Full-time content creation, baby. No, I'm not delusional. We're just here playing Star Rail again, and we're gonna do Black Swan's quest. I'm watching my other videos, and I'm looking at myself, and you don't really understand how hard it is to do this sort of thing. And you see other people talking constantly, and you're like, wow, how do they stay engaged? And here I am. Feel like I'm talking all the time. Watch my other videos, and I'm just kind of sitting there and so, jeez, it's really something you have to work on. But here we are. Let's start. Can you tell me more about Black Swan's dreamboat?
Are you ready to experience Miss Black Swan's dreamscape?
Yeah, move a little.
And rest your forehead on the dream bubble.
Just a second, sir. There are certain places in this game that lag me, and I don't know why.
That elegant girl mentioned something before she left.
The nature of this memory is special. Don't ruin the dreamscape experience for anyone else by spoiling the ending.
Yeah, that's why I'm not streaming, but I'm just playing. Black Swan is in your team. Oh, boy. Hold on. Do the quick setup. Do I even need a healer? Let's try it without. I don't even know who to use. I don't have Kafka, so. Who's gonna help? Silverwolf, maybe? Just do somebody who recommended types wind and physical. Well, I don't really have any physical. It's all pointless, man. Let's go with fucking Tingyun. That's right.
In my estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family.
Well,
in a dream,
we've already seen that.
Even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer.
Okay, see?
You'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is
Why are you here?
Enough. You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case, right?
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, being smashed over the head with a hammer in the middle of the street for no reason at all? This is not the kind of thing that happens on Penacony. You are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
It's the hammer.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Offer no. Oh, so I'm Black Swan here. Yeah.
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact. Rather than hearing endless explanations, would you like to experience it for yourself?
Yes.
No, no, no. Hey, you can save that for the enemy.
Then on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time. You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the Iden Park. Even in the reflections of the wine glass. Everywhere. My dear, do you have a crush on me?
Well, that's...
Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, let's play a little game. I left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Don't leave me waiting, my dear.
Sorry, I didn't mean to click. Solve it and prove you're capable of pleasing me. If you can solve it, then we can talk.
Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else.
Really now.
But no harm, no foul. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything. I'm just a friend.
What is
helping her
in this
deliver a
man's brain?
letter. That's all.
Actually, I
never
would
knew
probably
this was
not
actually
want to
a
know.
declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So maybe you can just, let me go. You all are the big shots here. I'm really not on your level.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective.
Do I really have to take him with me?
Fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
So there's one thing in there that I thought pretty interesting, and that's where they confirm that if you get killed in a dream, you just wake up in the hotel. And unless I'm completely stupid, Firefly was killed in the dream. So why are we acting like she's dead? I mean, I feel like it's completely obvious that she's not gone for good. But everywhere I see everybody's talking like she is. To me, it seems like they're really trying to just cause an emotional response toward the cutest character they've ever made. I guess it worked.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Regarding the victim.
Who was the victim?
An IPC employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long sleeves walked right past Shamari and suddenly assaulted him with a hammer. Shamari collapsed on the spot and woke up from the dream. The murderer vanished in a flash.
Ooh, that sounds just like Sparkle. Her best asset is transforming her appearance to look like someone else.
Uh-huh. I really want to know what it looks like to bash somebody with the hammer in the dream. Did they bleed? Does their skull actually cave in?
Who are those two little guys?
Oh, look at those
The
little
assailants
guys.
stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. What nerve. They don't even have the slightest consideration for public order.
Do we have to
Those
kill
two
them?
have clammed up. I wonder if you two could help pry open their mouths.
I see.
Looks like a puzzle that Sparkle has left behind for you.
Can you go into minds of robots? Regarding evidence at the scene of the
Any
crime.
leads yet?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues yet. All we have to go by are the weapon used by the assailant and the victim's ID. They didn't even take the weapon with them. Sounds like they're trying to provoke us. Despicable.
Can we summon the victim?
Where's
Well,
Mr.
yeah.
Shamari right now?
He's alive,
I'd
technically.
like to meet him.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari expressed that he understands the unpredictable nature of dreams, and went on to vacation in another dreamscape. Best not to bother him.
What a weird thing to
Guest experiences always have
experience.
to come first.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him, half of Penacony will have been sent back to reality by Sparkle.
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of sparkles then.
Well. Hey, buddy.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case. Mr. Coldfeet, why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all. Miss Black Swan, they're heading straight for you.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. Ahem. I understand Lady Black Swan has quite the intellect. I'm sure you'll be able to get to the bottom of the Sparkle murder case.
The Sparkle murder case? Wasn't the victim Shamari from the IPC?
It's Sparkle's case.
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here.
That's what I was just
and
about
this
to
has
ask.
nothing to do with the actual case. Goldhammer?
Sparkle
Is that her
Goldhammer.
real surname?
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, all they found was her body. Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot. Such a brutal act of violence.
I totally believe you.
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before, but they were unexpectedly ambushed by the Annihilation Gang. They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided. So they all shared a motive for killing Miss Sparkle, to escape punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Huh?
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be one murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers. Hang on, wait.
Why can there be only one? Is this the fucking Highlander?
If you can't justify it, don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have cooperated on anything. So it must have been one of them acting alone.
That actually doesn't make much sense. Even if they were on bad terms, those 3...
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at the crime
Can I stop
scene that
talking
are sure
to
help
these
you
things now?
apprehend the real culprit.
I
I've
would
got the
really
case
prefer
file
that.
right here. If you want to learn more about the suspects, talk to me.
I'm just gonna. Can I just have the case file? I would rather not talk to you, but whatever, fine.
Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lefton, Zhongshan, and Wright. Lefton is one of Miss
Lefton and
Sparkle's
Wright.
chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed
What?
while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be.
That sounds
Then
so
there's
real.
Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town. Last of all comes Wright. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed
Wait.
that they broke his legs.
Hang on, I'm confused here.
At least he's...
Left on? Right? Is this some kind of joke?
What? Where did you get that idea from? Do you need me to go over it all again?
That won't be necessary.
That won't be necessary. I've memorized every detail.
No wonder you're a memo keeper.
Well, let's not go that far. I've already forgotten certain things. So one guy lost his right arm or hand, and his name is Left, and that's fantastic. Some guy got his face smashed in, and the other guy had his legs broken by the other two, even though they've already said that they won't work together. So...
Holy moly! This hammer is super heavy! This must be the murder weapon for the Sparkle murder case!
There evidence on it?
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands! I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target!
She lifts, bro. We're just carrying it around, apparently. If his strength, even he, Sampo can't lift it with one hand. What a Herculean woman, yeah.
Look, an ID card. Talent Motivation Department, Shamari. Is this the victims?
I mean, he
Mr.
said that was his
Shamari's
name.
belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape. The fact that this ID is here means Miss Sparkle placed it here on purpose to prove that she definitely attacked someone.
Okay.
Is that all the evidence? How are we meant to solve this with so little to go on?
Oh, God.
Oh, you scared me! When did you pop out?
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason. They're clues to the puzzle.
No shit.
But there are still some other clues that were placed in other areas, so they won't spoil the crime scene.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who'd never bring extra trouble
what?
to the family.
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice
Very
to the
law-abiding,
investigation.
clearly.
Let's take her up on her offer then. Mr. Assistant Detective, this way.
Well, great. Wait, we have to use this? So it goes. What is this?
What's this little device here for? Could you please let me know? It looks like a little button.
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. Whatever you do,
Why are you with
push
me?
it.
I wasn't gonna
That's
push
the
it.
mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke. Miss Sparkle also has her own button. The second she pushes hit, you and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke.
That sounds like both
yeah.
buttons can do the exact same thing.
Correct. Exactly the same.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
okay. Why?
Because she is fair.
This is nuts!
wouldn't want to try pressing it. I mean, it is tempting. I won't lie. Since we have her, might as well walk around us there for the 2 seconds until I'm back to this. The bunny. Yeah. Wait, am I stupid? I'm stupid. It's pom-pom. Fantastic. What is this?
What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll, is it connected to the case?
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
How do you know it's a fake?
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about her throwing out a random, useless clue.
I see. Thank you for your keen insight. Then, let's pretend we were misled by a red herring. This doll, could it be connected to the case?
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
Who knows why Sparkle would have something like this? Maybe it's truly because the conductor's beauty is that famous throughout the cosmos. I mean, he's very cute, I won't lie. Sorry. Official detective work.
This notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
To prevent criminals from hurting our great and lovely Miss Sparkle, Goldhammer residents shall abide by the following regulations from today onwards. All retainers and visitors must enter and exit the Goldhammer residence using the facial recognition system. Those who cannot pass through the facial recognition system will be killed on the spot. These regulations are in effect indefinitely. Okie dokie.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition system suddenly go out?
This is so her style, isn't it? Doesn't look like there are any more clues.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? This evidence, I've been staring at it all day, but there's nothing that can identify the perp. Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right?
Uh-huh.
I remember this one best. Wright has a broken leg.
You said they
Why
broke
don't we
his
flip the
legs.
question and start by
Plural.
asking who couldn't be the murderer. After all, there are only 3 suspects. So
Alright, well,
elimination could
one
be a
guy
hard
has no
task.
hand, so he can't lift the hammer.
Put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind? Tell me, come on.
Right? Can't walk. So he can't have done it. There's no reason. Exclude Zhongshan. Okay, let's exclude this guy.
So, Who exactly is the murderer? Lefton, that guy.
Lost his hand. Shimmer's golden. Wait.
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Swinging that giant sledgehammer to murder someone, that must be hard for him. Probably impossible. Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
So he...
who exactly? I remember this one best.
Giant hammer, Shamari's ID. Hammer's... Oh, wait. Hold on. Facial recognition.
So, who remember Zhongshan's face?
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe. If that's the case, then he couldn't have made it through the Goldhammer Residence's facial recognition system. That would suggest that Zhongshan is...
By process of elimination, it seems that only Wright could be the murderer. That was easy. Let's tell the constable our answer and see what he thinks.
Well, I feel like it's not that easy. That'd be a very short quest.
There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
the murderer is right.
Babe! You have answered correctly! As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
Okay.
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange
It's just a
behavior.
bunch of puzzles.
I'm afraid this chase may just go on forever.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a masked fool?
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does herself. Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to try and avoid using my Memo Keeper powers.
Why?
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
Why do you say it like that?
I told you. It's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness.
Do you think Black Swan has a crush on
As a
Sparkle?
memo keeper, I also
Because
have to fulfill my
I would be willing to go
responsibilities and
along with
harvest
that.
some interesting memories.
Just because I would like to see that result. And less because I actually think that's true. It's time for battle.
And that sound
Whoa, this place is a complete...
Oh, maybe.
Detective Black Swan.
Maybe
and
not.
Detective
Maybe
Sambo.
I'm
You've
getting ahead of
finally
myself.
made it.
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Why are you talking like that? Is this some sort of artistic performance that young people are into these days?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a strange way?
Everyone in this
Oh,
place.
of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my grandma's backyard.
Huh. The skit this time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then. The victim is a galactic business magnate named Sparkle.
Right.
Her again? Sparkle really is obsessed with scripting her own death.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt.
Do it.
Ahem. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out.
She wear ties?
After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on, but instead discovered Miss Sparkle's body. She had been strangled to death. There were 3 suspects on the scene, namely a Pepeshi shopkeeper named
Oh
Trent,
my god.
a Foxian gambler named Zhongshan, and a wealthy Intellitron trader called Lefton.
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart.
What problems
Miss
these people
Sparkle
have
is so
this time?
gracious. Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these 3, and they were not working in cahoots.
You're too lazy to be a suspect, right?
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy!
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you'll be able to cut through the hogwash and find out who Miss Sparkle's killer is.
This is a very strange quest. I don't think this is what I expected.
The identities of these suspects to you. It's very straightforward. First of all, is the shopkeeper right? He's one of the Pepeshi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is often a source of teasing. for
Okay,
him.
so he can't strangle her, he's not
He
tall
can get
enough.
Pretty salty about it. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her.
Okay.
Finally, there is the gambler Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. It's possible he harbored
Wait, is the
grudges.
first guy's motive the fact that he's
That's
short?
all the information we have. Do you need me to
'Cause that poor
repeat it?
guy would not have a very stable life mindset.
That
No.
won't be necessary.
Great.
And there's the tie.
So that's the time?
That skit before said that the deceased was strangled. Is this tie some kind of joke murder weapon?
The tag on the tie reads, "Only for Imperial Master Lefton." Seems like it's one of Miss Sparkle's personal belongings.
That's not how you use the word imperial.
There's an accounting book lying on the ground. It must have been specially placed there by Sparkle.
On the title page is written Chen Katong. Is that someone's name? A code name. Oh, I think it's the name of the owner of this book.
This Jian Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around.
Okay. I don't know what to think about that. You gotta do this again?
So, it's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence. The rest hidden inside her memories again, right?
That's what they say.
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
So why are you here?
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a law-abiding citizen this Sparkle is. Why doesn't she surrender then?
Beth once more into the breach. Hold on.
a little stool that seems quite normal.
Hmm.
There are 2 small footprints drawn on it in crayon.
So maybe the
The
short guy did
footprints, which are half as big as standard, must belong
strangle
to a
her. He
petty
just
person.
stood on a stool.
Perhaps it's just that this person's drawing skills are extraordinary.
Maybe. Sparkle had fallen from her pedestal. Okay.
What's that smell? Why is there a smoked red herring there?
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This is a wonderful smoked red herring.
Somebody save me from this cringe joke.
Even
Yeah.
among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor stands out from the rest.
And I agree with Sampo.
Have
Things
you
are bad.
dealt with many masked fools before?
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories baked in sunshine. They're the ones that usually belong to kind people.
Ugh. That's evidence? I guess that's quote unquote a red herring. I guess I gotta be dumb guy. Here. Okie dokie. Well, that was brighter than I expected.
This clock is...
Open it up and take a look.
Oh, do I have to do a puzzle? Mm-mm-mm. Oh my god. It took forever.
So there's a ring inside. This is evidence too. Why was it planted inside another device?
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth. We want to reconstruct the scene of the crime.
In the victim's mouth.
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring. Zhongshan family heirloom. That should be it. Let's head out.
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but the puzzle this time is pretty strange.
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway, let's report back to the sheriff for now.
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon. Was that? You found out who the killer is?
Pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. As smart as the nest of magpies roosting in the roof of my Uncle Frank's garage.
This guy is mixing up his birds here.
Well,
Then go ahead.
who cares?
Who is the killer, and what evidence do you have to prove the case?
Do not identify the murderer. Do not identify. Think again.
Then please hurry up with it.
Okay, let me actually think about this. Where did that stuff get put? Is it actually in here? Okay. Sparkle. Master. Okay, so everybody has To avoid you thinking that you wasted time investigating your useless, here's a recipe. Okay, thanks. You're welcome. You know, I gotta say, they have given me one piece of evidence that, quote-unquote, leads to everyone. Lefton's tie, Longshan's heirloom, and right was the Pepeshi. If that's correct. I'm gonna say not
much.
identify kill.
You live up to your reputation.
Yeah.
Then go ahead.
Let's go.
In my opinion, there is no murderer for this case.
What do you mean by that?
The real question is, which of these do I present?
This stool is a piece of...
That's right. That Miss Sparkle's business failed, and she was on the brink of bankruptcy. As she passed by her regular fashion store, she ran into her old nemesis, the bullying shopkeeper from the store, and the gambler whose life she'd ruined. And those three all looked happier than her. Miss Sparkle's ego wouldn't allow that to happen. And so she stole Lefton's tie, placed Zhongshan's ring in her mouth, stepped up onto the stool, and hanged herself from a beam in Wright's shop. And her motive was to try and frame all three of them. What a tragedy! If it weren't for your incisive detective work, the three suspects would all be facing grave injustice.
Is something wrong here? This is too easy. The first
I
case
gotta
was
say,
hard, but this one.
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means, this is probably another prank from Miss Sparkle. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton. The evidence is the tie, right?
Correct, Detective Sampo. I never thought you'd be able to deduce the truth.
Sheriff, the murderer is right. The evidence is the stool, right?
Yes! For the laughter, how did I fail to realize this formidable intellect of yours?
Then, right from the start, there was no murderer. The evidence is the ring. Whatever, I'm just spitballing here.
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How could such an unfathomable
What a
mystery
strange...
be solved so easily by him?
Ugh.
How would that ring get in?
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
Why take it so seriously? Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn right until you get to the Intelligentsia Guild.
Oh boy.
We're only responsible for providing an entertaining detective experience.
I thought about it too hard.
Since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case, I will now share Miss Sparkle's next puzzle with you.
So
How long
that's
does-
it? This
Yeah,
is just
I was gonna
going
say,
to
how
go
long is this gonna
on
take?
and on forever? We can't do that.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
That's alright, I'm not that interested. Actually, I kind of want to know what he would say. What?
Detective Black Swan, would you like...
Sure.
Why, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Murderer's Lefton.
Lefton is a wealthy merchant who has been competing with Miss Sparkle for...
Okay.
This tie is a piece of...
That's right! This tie belongs to Lefton, and it just so happened Lefton snuck into the changing room and waited for... What a tragedy!
Right.
This guy, Zhongshan.
Swing.
This ring is a piece...
That's right! What would a penniless wretch of a gambler like Zhongshan be doing? He'd stolen Lefton's tie and was just about to get... Who could have known that? What a tragedy! Right as a Papeshi...
This stool is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right! Miss Sparkle always teased poor Wright, taking advantage of his position. Miss Sparkle never thought Wright would retaliate against her. He then suddenly pulled it. What a tragedy! If it weren't for your...
I'd rather not play it.
Okay.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Well, that's what she wants.
Truly, Miss Sparkle is a fascinating person. She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand.
Yeah.
Like a performer on the stage or a child hungering for attention. This game will be over soon.
Okay, now this time.
We're going to catch her.
These.
Miss Black
Okay,
Swan,
I was...
Mr. Sampo.
These
You're
are
finally
definitely enemies this time.
I am the famed detective of Penacony. And next to me here is my assistant detective.
I'm gonna have to listen to you.
Murder in a locked room has left us all stumped.
As expected, another change in setting.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle.
I have to listen to this
But this
wing flapping the whole time.
Miss Sparkle didn't come out of her bedroom. The butler, Zhongshan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her. But Miss Sparkle had never slept in so late. And no matter how hard he knocked, there was no answer from inside.
As soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened. So I acted decisively and broke the door down to get inside.
Mm-hmm.
The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle, her face white as snow. One look told me she'd been dead for some time.
Dead for some time.
Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but... Alas, poor Miss Sparkle. She's left us now forever.
If only.
Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, Lefton the cook, and Wright the driver were also at the scene of the crime.
Oh boy.
What would you like to do?
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the next crime scene, right? Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with me? It might tickle a little.
Wait up! Wait up!
Honest kid. I know where you are.
Is she just
Miss
reading minds
Sparkle.
now?
No
cheating!
Huh. Mr. Assistant Detective.
You want... I thought you didn't want to do
Seem
this
to be
forever.
getting anxious.
No, it's... This locked room murder case is pretty fun. I want to guess who it was.
Let's go. Can't keep a girl waiting, can we?
You two are...
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up, wait up! Miss Sparkle has one final message to announce. Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Alright, yeah, I admit she's cute. Not pulling free, though. Gotta save for Acheron.
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
Okay. Ah, yes, more trash cans. So you can't
There's
go a single
no
quest.
weird, sweet dreams troop. Nor is there evidence strewn all over the place. We finally caught up with her. But what's that thing?
It's me.
Bella Boggian trash can?
Mm-hmm.
In Penacony?
Hey, dear Memo Keeper and Mr. Coldfeet. You made it. I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle.
Oh, wait.
That's on me. All right. Miss
I
Sparkle
kind of
cares
wanted to
not
do it,
for
actually.
false advance like
I didn't
me.
know that's what was happening.
This
Sorry.
is the final question.
Sorry. Oh.
Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning?
The puzzle of the riddle of the Sphinx. I know this
and
one.
3 legs at night.
No murder case this time around?
Why do I feel like it's not going to be
Nice
that
to take
direct?
things easy. Come on, dear. Give me your answer then.
People.
Since it's a classic puzzle, the answer is people, right?
Wah, wah. Wrong answer.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I was gonna say. It's too boring.
The correct answer is Sparkle. When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand to hold a toothbrush. Poor Sparkle. So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber jabber?
What a cute answer.
Yeah, it's
Thanks
clever,
for the
I guess.
compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you've just tried to
Was that
cheat.
even an
Wrong
answer? I didn't even look that close because I
Accept
thought I
your
was just gonna
punishment.
give the normal answer. I guess I shouldn't have. I guess I should have expected more.
Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind.
Oh my god. Oof. Alright, maybe I should have taken a healer.
Ill fate is dead.
There's more to life.
Together as one. Let's be friends.
What do you want to know?
Some value, I suppose.
A quick divination. Welcome, customers.
Stop.
Ill tidings manifest.
There's more to life. Existence is unity. Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind.
Let's be friends. 1,000 wonders. Fight is fun.
Memories are beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Freaky.
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere.
Uh-huh.
Huh? No voices? This guy's pretty quiet. Miss, let's hurry up. Flip open the lid and find the girl.
Wait. Don't move. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle. How is this possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection? What did you do? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Only the Remembrance has the powers to do that. You planned it out all from the start because she teased you and was pranking you. You wanted to kill her. Oh, I understand. You refused to let me go because you wanted to drag me into all of this. If I don't agree, I'll end up just like she did.
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family and the blessing of the harmony. Not even a memo keeper can break this barrier.
She's got some
There's
nice
no
thighs.
need to take such great pains. If
No,
you
I'm not
just
saying this
want
about a dead
confirmation,
person. She's
I've
not
already told you
dead,
the answer,
obviously.
Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle? Who are you talking to?
You.
You motherfucker.
Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you, Mr. Sampo?
This? Don't jump to conclusions! If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So, deduction will do.
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder? I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. How could I ever miss it?
You wanted
The
to
key
do it.
to solving the puzzle lay in two pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist.
Okay.
But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him.
Did think it was a little weird.
And, judging by his behavior,
He used a canvas.
probably had something to do with that canvas. Like some...
I'm a little
hoyoverse.
disappointed. I rushed on, not realizing I
Of
probably had to
course,
talk to
this
them
is
again
just a simple mind
to do this
game.
puzzle.
The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle
Alas.
just wanted to pass on one hint to me. That the murderer is the assistant detective. Which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water, use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts. Salvage it and protect them carefully. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer. Would you like to hear it?
I feel like we're gonna.
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed her death, was not the murderer, but rather an accomplice who assisted her in faking her own death.
What a pity, such a pity. My dear, you were so close to the right answer. Unfortunately, the right answer is... Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's body.
Okay.
Ding-a-ling! I won!
Good for you.
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all 3 of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who
Some
is
chump.
this Mr. Sampo then?
Chump.
Beautiful
Tempo.
lady, I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter. That's all.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? I have, at least. You
Yeah, it was
take
fun, I guess.
memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other, seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh, we can dance ballet together.
She's so short.
Am I understanding this correctly? A masked fool inviting me to work together?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, a memo keeper can't help you. It's frankly above my pay grade. Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you.
Lucky?
The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
Oh.
How did you know?
The metaphor
Memory
behind
is
you.
like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch 2 fish with 1 cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
So, you mean you're refusing? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind,
I feel like
come
you can't
find me
just,
at the tavern. That is, you can
intimidate
find
Black
me.
Swan.
Let's go, Sampo? Sampo.
Who is?
Who is Sampo?
This is Bellabog, right?
I said, why not?
Okay.
Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember
His
everything
fucking
again.
face.
And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
Well, okay. I feel like not a lot was accomplished there, but
What a special dream this has been. And did you notice its nested structure? Being part of a play inside the dreamscape is as weird and captivating as being in a dream within a dream.
we know you like Inception, writers.
That's the end of Miss Black Swan's dream bubble.
Yeah, it was cute. It was fun. How fascinating, how boring it was kind of Sampo turned out to be. What does this mean?
I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. It's worth repeating that dreams are just dreams. And in Pinnacle, dreams can be processed.
Okay,
Or even tempered.
right.
Things in our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone in someone else's dreamscape. If there's any information that you'd like to confirm, please do so by the cold, hard light of reality. Sweet dreams.
Thanks, sir. Whatever.
Really? I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything you've asked, as agreed. Shouldn't you give my mask back to me now?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting
Your
agreements?
mask.
Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar, third barrel on the left. You never saw me. But Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? This doesn't seem like the Sampo I know. Let me guess. A catastrophe
What?
is coming to Urello 6.
Well,
Am I right?
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense. Sometimes even an old-timer like me feels like taking the stage and making a fool out of myself.
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of person who values friendship highly.
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog. After all, the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks isn't something old Sempo can stand by. Go tell Giovanni I said hi.
Fine, I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it so seriously. Why so serious?
Think of our Chris Nolan movies here. Wow. So that was a prequel to Bellabog? It's in the dream bubble. Has anyone come looking for you, Black Swan? What's up? That fool named Sparkle is currently searching all over the place for that dream bubble. I do not know what her intentions are, but allowing it to slip into her hands will only make this situation more confusing. Can you do me a favor and go reclaim that dream bubble? Why don't you do it yourself? I didn't expect you to refuse me. I guess I could go myself. I mean, I was just curious. I don't remember where that dream bubble's left. Can you remind me? How could a dream in this Dreamscape scale store? How could I... a memory? Memory keeper forget a memory. Are you really Black Swan? Mm-hmm. Please don't come back. Uh-huh. Yeah, that was a little too odd. Interesting, interesting. Black Swan. This does... I'm getting deja vu here. Sparkle. You might be. Sparkle and it could be you. Can't trust anyone. What would you have to do? A unique action, a unique expression. Unique action? There's a chance she could perfectly imitate everything about a person. I can think that the only thing that can differentiate... Hold on, you're talking too fast. Jesus, you guys type. It's their memories. There's no way for an outsider to completely steal or imitate every ounce of a person's memory. Just like when we met in Peninconi, is it not? A strange dreamland surrounding us, a series of strange murders, people with differing dreams, the truth that lies beneath the noir surface. Do you need me to go on? That's enough. I think that's enough. I don't know. I can't be the only one doing all the talking. By your logic, you should also have to prove you are not Sparkle Keres. I mean, fairer. I'm just joking. As a memo keeper, I naturally know who the other person on the other side of the screen is. Yeah. Miss Sparkle's pranks are not without their benefits. She's able to make us re-examine what we have seen and think about the appearance of the reality of the dreamscape. This is also the reason I shared the dream bubble with you. Alright, looks like she hasn't caused any major damage. I will put my mind at ease. Talk to you again soon. Honestly, it's becoming more and more true these days that we can't believe everything we see, at least through the gaze of the internet, now that AI is completely taking over everything, and fake videos and images are getting more and more believable. At what point will we not be able to believe what we even see in front of us? Last one. Okay. Strange. Alright. You know, I did a quest last time, or last time I played, which was not streamed, and I regret not streaming it because it was very good. I won't spend a bunch of time just recounting it to you, so I suggest you look up the quest for the shop worker named Kokona, because, well, it's going to be better than me just telling you everything that happens. And if you're watching this and you already know about that quest, I quite liked it, and I got the happy ending. It was very frustrating at times. But there's one I want to do right now with a man named Chadwick. This old man who is sitting at Dream's Edge. He didn't know much about himself, like he had dementia or something. I used one of the cog wheels, and he revealed that he remembers that he is a member of the Genius Society. I brought this up to Herta, and she was very interested about it. Keep your lips sealed about this. Do not go blabbing about this to anyone. I'm not joking either. So she knows this Mr. Chadwick. Let's see what Miss Herta has to say. Oh. How come Scroom's here too? It's been a while, Madam Keres. Hope life is treating you well. There's no time for pleasantries now, Screwy. Let's cut to the chase. There's no rush, Herta. Assumption. If Chadwick has been stuck in Penacony for tens of thousands of system hours, I think we can afford a couple of minutes to discuss the issue. You can act all righteous as you want. I can no longer wait. The things he is keeping are too valuable. So you're saying that Chadwick was right. He was indeed a member of the Genius Society back then. That man is the real deal. I mean, his research is very valuable. Caledon Chadwick, Genius Society number 79. His expertise includes solid-state physics, applied memory theory of imaginary numbers, and ballistics. His seat is higher than yours. Sounds impressive. He is, for his groundbreaking achievements in his areas of specialization. I've been traveling across the universe since the flame of life was ignited in my core. Throughout the long journey, I rarely met souls that truly deserve to be called a genius. Madame Herta is one of them, and so is Caledon Chadwick. Thanks for throwing in a compliment for me. I met Dr. Chadwick twice. Our first encounter happened when he was still young and ambitious, and the second was decades later. The situations in both meetings were starkly different. Recollection. Dr. Chadwick once asked for my help. He was about 50 at the time. I agreed to help him at that time. Ever since then, I've never heard from him again. It was as if he'd never existed in the universe at all. Till Madame Herta received your text. He's being confined in Penacony. He's alive, but he had his memory stripped away. Family. Who knows what kind of scheme they are brewing? Screwy, what do you think we should do? There are too many uncertainties surrounding the matter. For now, I'm unable to come up with a convincing solution based on the limited information. Hypothesis. Dr. Chadwick offended the family for some reason and was confined in the dreamscape as a result. Things still don't quite add up in this scenario. As far as I know, Caledon Chadwick is not a long-life species. It has been decades since I was last in touch with him. Something is keeping him alive till now. I'm afraid there's only one way to unravel the mystery. I'd like to travel to Penacony myself, find a chance to visit Dr. Chadwick. Madam Keres, would you like to join me? It is my honor to travel with you. Likewise. There's something I have to tell you before we go, Madam Keres. The most outstanding achievement in Caledon Chadwick's life is the invention of the weapon called the Imaginary Implosion Pulse. That weapon took millions of lives and destroyed countless homes. Oh man. Real Oppenheimer. Oh, okay. Oh.
Take a rest. It's time for tea and cake.
Welcome, sir. You're so efficient. Oh. I always regarded dreams with awe, hence I rarely frequent Penacony, that planet of festivities. To me, the so-called sweet dreams are often saccharine and insincere, a stark contrast to the true shape of a dream. I wonder... Oh, okay, I guess we don't get to hear the rest of that. Welcome to Penacony, Miss Keres. How can I help you? I see you've brought a friend today. My name is Screw'em, madam. Please forgive me for coming here uninvited and without checking in. You should be able to see my name on the permanent VIP list of the family. Allie's face twitches slightly upon hearing the name of Screw'em, but she is quick to compose herself. You really admire her professionalism. Just a moment, Mr. Screw'em. can I do for you? Here to visit a hotel guest, Caledon Chadwick. It's you. What if we insist on seeing him? I really want to see Scroom kick somebody's ass. 2 amber eras ago. That's a very long time ago. By what means did the family extend the lifespan of Caledon Chadwick? Chadwick. Your action speaks of your loyalty to the family. I assume that you'd rather turn the family against Planet Scroolum just to uphold your principles. Am I correct? Are you prepared to bear the consequences of being the enemy of the Genius Society? He's so intimidating all of a sudden, yeah. There's a whole planet named after him, and he's just gonna, like, turn it all against them. When she returns, her facial expression has softened a great deal. Okay. My sincerest apologies for the inconvenience. The family has instructed me to let Mr. Scroolum and this nameless lady here through. Please, come with me. Fascinating. Where you going?
One peach soul glad? Why isn't there a sugar-free soul glad?
Gonna be forever wondering why there isn't sugar-free Soul Glad. Sorry, buddy. Can't answer it. This is Dr. Chadwick's room. Regulations prohibit the bloodhounds from entering the hotel rooms without guest permission. Should I not give guys the stringent regulations here? I don't think it's necessary. Dr. Chadwick can't answer in his current state. You know, he's probably still dreaming. Dr. Caledon Chadwick, sorry for showing up here all of a sudden. We hope you don't mind our unexpected visit. Do you? This is... Oh. Interesting. I think that's the last chest I need here. I was wondering how to get that. Boop, boop, boop. Well. Fireplace heating is turned on. The whole room is chilly like an icy cavern. The only thing that reminds you of flowing time is the pulsing, hovering liquid. Bubbles of the dream pool. Madam Keres, I think I might know where Mr. Chadwick is. Where else can he hide? Is the family taking us for a ride? Where else? Sinker is right in front of us. Scroom reaches his hand slowly into the dream pool. Gently, he scoops up a translucent bubble from the liquid. The moment the bubble leaves the surface of the liquid, it starts flowing upward, till it is hovering in midair. The likelihood of Caledon Chadwick as a short-lived species remaining alive to this day in a corporeal state is close to 0. No longevity technology has been able to extend the natural lifespan of a normal human by 2 amber eras. So he's just some sort of lingering dream? Even though they can't sustain Chadwick's body, they could still extract the substance from the depths of his brain, allowing his consciousness to survive. How... Right. Its immortality, in a sense, can he even be considered to be alive? That's a good question. Is consciousness alone life? In a sense. For sure, many wouldn't think this counts as being alive. It depends on each person's belief, religion, and way of thinking. Yeah. One question remains, why would the family go to such lengths to store Chadwick's memory here? What significance does his memory hold for them? Majority Pulse, that's the name, right? The weapon, yeah. I don't think the family is capable of extracting any useful information from Chadwick's mind, Madam Keres. It's because... Scrollum hesitates and trails off after the sentence. Let's talk about this elsewhere, in case someone is listening to our conversation. The hounds have excellent hearing. You have the right to learn the story in its entirety, Madam Keres. If you hadn't informed Madame Herta of your discovery out of kindness, it cannot be said how long Chadwick would have been confined here. I'd like you to pass over something to Dr. Caledron Chadwick for me in the dream. I'll negotiate with the upper echelons of the family toward the aim of taking Chadwick's memory bubble with me. Okay. Guess it's time to find the man. Sir, I gotta tell you, this is like the second time I've had to inform somebody that they don't really exist anymore. I guess maybe this is different. Hey, buddy. I got some news. Dr. Chadwick. I'm glad that I can still recognize you. You still remember the elderly man's upbeat voice when you two parted ways last time. The tiny flickering flame of hope in his eyes seemed to have snuffed out again. You shouldn't have come here. Moira and the rest of the Bloodhounds, for that matter, won't be pleased to see you. Don't worry, that problem has been solved. Do you remember Scrollum? Screwy. As if struck by lightning, Chadwick's eyes suddenly widen, quickly contract again. Gloom covering his eyes dissipates, and he appears bright-eyed. He promised he would help me. He did fulfill his promise, and he didn't fail me. I was the one who went missing. Both my ears and mouth were covered, and I was blindfolded. What have I forgotten? Who bound me to this illusionary world? Got some stuck. Take these random pills, bro. Scrollum wants to help you. Now my chest feels like it holds the entire universe in it. Voice came the distant corner of my universe, tried to persuade me to trust Scrollum and you. I mean, I guess. What else what do you really have to lose, sir? Get ready. Let me help. We'll work with this, I guess. The young Caledron Chadwick is standing right before you, wears the same contemplative expression even after several amber eras. The station looks exactly the same, unless it's not the Herta space station. We, the technology department, and your team will shape the future of the galaxy together. Not fully certain that this project will work. Why are you guys seeking? What you guys are seeking is a weapon that only exists theoretically. It could cause an upheaval in the galaxy. Oh, you're making Death Star. We might not be geniuses like you, but we're plenty visionary. Brief history of the universe. Didn't know enough. By the way, I'm surprised you're a supporter of the catastrophe theory. Is this like entering a new Helicone? As the cancer of all worlds started spreading, the Legion and the Annihilation Gang have become more and more active. Just think that our lives can be a lot easier if we don't complicate stuff. Kind of miss what that said. You'll absolutely not be disturbed here. Is a genius who stands before him. Oh. True stings? They're probably from the swarm disaster era. It's been a long while since anyone stepped foot here. Won't be surprised by anything I see in this facility. This is the first time I've seen living true stings. Well, great. I've seen plenty of them.
Life. A true marvel.
The space beyond this door is where we concoct the miracle. Dr. Chadwick inside. Is he gonna, like, vaporize? Become Dr. Manhattan? Before you officially become Dr. Chadwick's colleagues, there's something I want to remind you. By walking through this door, you'll be selecting a very different life for yourselves. This lab will be your life for a very long time to come. Can I have this job? Sounds cool. Isolated from the outside world? Hey. That's already my life, man. If you aren't ready for this kind of life, you may go before I open the door. I'm ready. I've been studying imaginary theories since the age of 15. Working with Dr. Chadwick is my lifelong ambition. The door is nothing. Scientists, we've long dedicated our lives to science. Can shake the world. And right here. Oh, there we go. We study, research, and work night and day. They rarely question things. They trust me. "37th detonation test. Unsuccessful. The energy waves from the collision failed to tear up the imaginary fissure. The detonation capsule did not reach the critical threshold." Why? Lift the safety protocols. That's what I like to hear, buddy. Increase the collision rate to 1.3 times the default threshold. But it's gonna turn into Chernobyl. This is too risky. It might even compromise the research's safety. Exactly. And try one more time. There's no need to. Tried too many times. It's clear we won't make any progress if we go down the same road. The past 3 years, we've overcome nearly every theoretical hurdle. Scientific achievements born in this lab are enough to leave the universe amazed. But if we fail to build the imaginary implosion pulse, all our efforts will be in vain. As physicists, we must succeed. After overcoming the bottleneck, the experiment went smoothly. The lab even received visitors. sorry, these sound effects. Oh god, I can't. Wait, hold on. Settings. I gotta turn the sound effects. I wonder they're louder than everything else. I'm gonna turn voice up. Hey, Ruby. Why did you agree to take part in the development of a weapon as destructive as the imaginary implosion pulse? It said that the weapon could be used to contain the destruction forces. He said that we were doing the right thing. I shouldn't have sprung that question on you and put you in a position to give me an insincere answer. For people like us, even a minor slip-up can impact the entire universe. Our wisdom is both a blessing and a burden. I mean, just bringing such a weapon into existence has dire consequences. Now we already know that box contains a monster. I hope you'll safeguard it and make sure it won't be opened by some ignorant kids. Scrollum's words forced me to face myself. Uh-oh. The moment of clarity always comes too late. I'm supposed to fight this dude? Nah. It's worth a shot. Lordy. My nightmare finally came. Sorry to tell you this, Chad. You might be a genius in your field, but you know nothing about power. Your naivety blinds you from seeing the big picture, and you don't even understand the era you're in. You know, you build them a bomb, they're gonna use it. Once we're placed on the chessboard, we are no longer in control of our fate. Weapons are made to eliminate enemies. Is it that hard to understand? Our enemies are closing in. This is the perfect time to test the power of the imaginary implosion pulse. 1,000 other ways to stop them that can incur lower costs and affect fewer innocents. What we've done here the past 20 years is just an experiment. The results of our work never truly belong to us. You knew what you were getting into right from the beginning, but you chose to ignore it. I'm here, Bomb Maker. It's time to show the Legion our might. Ballistic trajectory pre-calculation is complete. Margin of error 0.08%. Enemy contact detonation AI deployed. Ready to detonate at any moment. How many collateral targets are there in the blast range? Calculation in progress. 24 planets at the satellite level or above within the blast range. Among them, there are 3 secondary planets with civilizations of grade D or above. The amount of collateral damage is acceptable. The detonation plan can proceed as scheduled. It's time, Bomb Maker. Hit the detonate button. Do not press the button. You're afraid of taking the blame, aren't you? Fret not. The one who presses the button is neither you nor I. We won't even be mentioned if this incident is later reported. Feel I have blood on my hands. You sympathize with Dr. Chadwick, right? Sorry to burst your bubble, but Halidron Chadwick isn't worthy of your sympathy. He's long foreseen the outcome, but he chose to ignore it and carry on the research at all costs. Selfishly, he puts his talent before everything else. He doesn't care the least bit about anyone else. Now do it. Do not. I'm not going to say anything else. You've just wasted your final opportunity. Hey, you. Do it. Am I just some other person now? Can I still not do it? Can I keep not doing it? It's all the same. Do not press the button. No, I refuse. Eventually you're gonna run out of people to press the button. Why don't you just fucking do it? Clearly there's a reason why you won't. If you think it's... If you think neither me nor you... How many times can I do this? I guess it's just a memory, and I have no choice. Right. Collider charging in progress. Critical detonation threshold reached. 5. 4. Don't hold it against me, Chad. We have to be responsible for our choices. 3. My name will be forever cursed. What's the price you have to pay, Dudley? 2. Look, Chad, this is your problem. You always take your gifts and talents for granted. You have no idea there are people like me. 1. No one will remember us. 0. Imaginary implosion pulse detonate. What I just experienced, was that the first half of Chadwick's life? That's the first half? Holy moly. Oh, sir. How many people did the imaginary pulse kill? A number that I try my best every day to forget. Ever since that day, I hadn't dared look to the mirror even once. I'm worried I might see a monster, a murderer who has killed countless people and ruined even more lives. They were never heard of again. Although they had released a statement condemning the detonation, they would never really give up the technology related to it. They needed me to control the knowledge and keep it out of other factions across the universe, out of reach of other factions. So they would always be breathing down my neck. So I decided to escape, not wanting to live the rest of my life being controlled by others. A name came to my mind when I needed help the most. Screw him. This is the story of the latter part of my life. Once upon a time, when there was no interaction between different worlds, some civilizations were already in possession of weapons powerful enough to destroy themselves. Out of fear for power, they established complicated laws and regulations in an attempt to prevent these self-unmaking devices from falling into the hands of the insane or the violent. When the starry seas later became interconnected by winding routes, the exchange of technology and resources began. New weapons, many times more powerful than the original ones, emerged one after another. Bewilderingly, those complicated rules in place to limit the abuse of weapons became increasingly simplified as more and more powerful weapons were invented. People were more tolerant of weapons when they were used against enemies. Let's say there were a faraway planet where its people were being ravaged by ferocious flames, with their cries echoing throughout the sky. Yet, for you and I, lying beneath the tree and gazing at the sky, the planet would be just another star plucked by someone from many others. Yeah. Wisdom. What a perplexing word. Some see it as the answer to solve every problem, and the ultimate of all virtues. However, many of those with extraordinary intellect are troubled by secular problems. Is it because the geniuses are too arrogant? Or is it because jealousy gets the better of the mundane? No one has an answer for that. Only one thing is irrefutable. Wisdom can coexist with selfish desires. True enough. What did Xandar see when he was recording tomes on the imaginary tree? The imaginary tree, huh? This strange and ancient language. When I was little, was first discovered the imaginary theories. What came to mind was the image of a dense forest, not of a huge tree. After going through so many things, I still find it hard to believe that the foundation of the universe is a giant tree that nurtures countless leaves selflessly, and voluntarily. I prefer to see each planet as a seed carried by the wind that happens to land on the soil. Seeds then begin to take root and grow bigger, eventually forming a forest. The universe isn't concerned with our presence, merely exists and observes. Well, I've got news for you, buddy. The imaginary tree is real.
SFP detected.
No, shut up.
Teamwork.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Thinking outside the box.
Where am I? I'm so lost. Just had to get away from that asshole. No, shut up. Ah, screw it. I can go through here, I think. Please forgive me for not telling you that I feel sorry for your plight. Now you have long seen it coming. Planet's Grillin can be your temporary shelter. Whoa, if you need it. No matter where I hide, the IPC will find me. It's just a matter of time. I can't be on the run forever, so I need to fight back in some way. Uh-oh. I'm part of a genius that developed a secret drug capable of blocking parts of the consciousness and memory of a person. I've never been close with anyone from the Genius Society, so I'd need you to pull the strings from me. Selective blocking agent. That eccentric pharmacist. Do you think this is a surefire solution? So did I just give this guy his memories back? Against his will, basically. Maybe this will sound dark, but why don't you just die? Commit Sudoku, boy. You're so old anyway. That's the surefire way to make sure you're... He looks very similar to how he was when you first met him. Can't seem to sense your presence. The off-tone music is always very strange. Stacked with unsent letters. Unauthorized send request, return recommended. One wonders what's inside the safe on the wall. Doctor? You took the selective blocking agent. This isn't reality. You aren't an RPC lackey, are you? Sorry to hear that. It's the price I have to pay. The passing of time and the increasing pain seem to have alleviated my guilt, which is the only good thing about being confined here. What will happen next? I believe the IPC might be scheming to tamper with the memoria left in my brain after the death of my physical body. You probably think that no matter how tight-lipped I am now, whatever remains of my dead body will be at their disposal. I guess that's the answer to my previous question. Worried that all the precautions I've taken so far will be negated upon my demise. Maybe there's a way you can disintegrate yourself, or does that not matter? The IPC will one day regain control of the imaginary pulses technology and monopolize it. Please allow me to rebut that, Doctor. Your effort isn't in vain. Screw him. Even after the death of your physical body, you're still safeguarding your knowledge. Ingrained dedication and perseverance in your consciousness. Probably time I hear it myself now. Say it, Chadwick. Life is fleeting. Many reach the end with regrets. Can't say your life has been a happy one. But at least it is complete when this moment takes place. I joined the experiment not for a good cause, but for myself. I wanted my talents and expertise to be seen by the whole world. That's it. I did it for me. Please let us be with you as you make your way to the end. There's one lady's assessment I can believe I can convey on her behalf. In a few short years, Paladin Bruh. Well, maybe you can pause the video and read that. There's no space there. Let's wake up, Miss Keres. He's not in the dreamscape. I'll be there soon. Life form oven. It's still so strange. Hey dudes, how you doing? What can I do for you? Well, I don't think sorry. Okay, bye. You guys are chilling? It's cute.
Yeah.
How did he end up like this? After his demise, the IPC extracted the memoria in his brain with the advanced technology provided by the Garden of Recollection and sealed it in a memory bubble. So fast that even his consciousness in his final moments was preserved. Remained inactive for too long a time, was in the water, would eventually die out. Sending Chadwick to Penacony to maintain the activity of his memoria. Speculation, the technology department must have struck some sort of deal with the family. 2 amber eras. Now he can rest. He's always been a genius, Madam Herta. But he isn't always this determined. Science and technology is not good or evil. For the past hundreds of years, he's been trying to redeem himself for a thought he had when he was young. Madam Keres, let's pay our final respects to him together. Before you lies more than just a lifeless machine. It embodies a third of Kaladin Chadwick's existence. Deactivate the life-sustaining system. Rest in peace, my friend. You'd hoped for a response from the world to the departure of this brilliant mind, yet all that lingers is a profound silence in the air. I gotta do all 3 buttons? Bro. Oh. Please allow me to address you as a friend. understand this may not be much of a consolation, but in my calculations, your research had the potential to save billions of lives. Incredibly, the era has slipped through our fingers like sand. Prior to the onset of an actual disaster, all we can do is pray. Pray that the discerning gaze of Noose may turn toward the next Kaladin Chadwick. Should I also say something? Well, Herta. I deeply admire intellect and research. I don't usually give compliments, but our fields of study share many commonalities. Your work on the theory of imaginary applications has sparked my inspiration on more than one occasion, and I have to say, it's even made me a tad jealous. Good for you, Herta. Rest in peace, Doc. Madam Herta. Miracle, it's a miracle. It's a spaceship. All of these are a little goofier than I would. I don't think Skrull would play a prank, especially right now. A miracle, that's a little. Heard that voice too. Residual consciousness of Dr. Chadwick. Herta. Dr. Chadwick's self-awareness still lingers faintly. I'm honored. My research, my knowledge, I will leave behind. Please accept. Maria is dissipating. Touch foreheads. Rita's puppet takes a step forward, pressing her forehead against the trembling memory bubble. Wow. What did he say to you? Everything. In that brief moment, he entrusted all his life's work to me. Wow, that hurt. Here's in his final moments of his life, Dr. Chadwick chose to place his trust in you, Madam Herta, even though the two of you had never met before. Final words he left behind. To Madam Herta, while I've held my position during my lifetime, given the resources IPZ possesses, they will inevitably discover the means and techniques to reproduce the imaginary implosion pulse. Die was cast at the moment the imaginary impulse was created. Every corner of the universe is destined to be on the guard against its threats. I can't turn back time, but there's still one thing I can do. I can entrust my knowledge and technology to those who are worthy, thereby establishing the groundwork for a deterrence system robust enough to counterbalance the IPC's might. So we're doing deterrence now. My life is nearing its conclusion, yet from this moment forward I aspire to be an unyielding blade eternally poised above tyranny and malevolence. Whew! Wow, heavy stuff. What do you think, Herta? I think he would entrust his life work to me. Did he not know the space station was connected to the IPC? But his wishes, they must be honored. Find a way to circumvent the IPC's surveillance then. With my reputation as a genius on the line, I will surely get this done for Dr. Kaladin Chadwick. Respect, Herta. Knew I liked you for a reason. Not just because you're sassy. Well, my friends, and it was longer than I expected. But fascinating look into the mind of a genius who built a bomb for his name to be remembered. Well, I guess it worked. At least its research wasn't in vain. You know, people like to meme about this, about Honkai, both Impact and Star Rail, about heartwarming stories, and then it's just a bunch of depression. But, you know, listen, there is heartwarming resolutions, let's say. This is true for even Honkai Impact 3rd. It's not a meme. They are positive, and in the end, they are wholesome. Just the journey getting there is full of a lot of strife, to put it mildly. Talk to you later, nerds. Dream well. Bye.